The first thing I noticed was the silence. Not the Christmas music in the lobby. Not the clinking glasses. Not the soft piano near the bar. The silence around me. A pause. A look. Then a smile that was just a little too polished. A woman near the reception desk glanced at my coat, then at my shoes, then at the overnight bag in my hand. Her husband leaned close and said something I couldn't hear. She laughed anyway. A man in a red tie behind them turned halfway, looked at me once, and then looked away like he had already decided who I was. I kept walking. Then I heard it. Some people really do come anywhere now. Soft voice. Meant to stay private. It didn't. The receptionist's smile tightened. Someone near the tree stopped mid-conversation. And from the mezzanine above, I saw a manager look down, then quickly look away. That's when I realized something was very wrong. I had checked into hotels like that before. Quiet places. Expensive places. Places where people paid more for discretion than comfort. I wasn't new to that world. I just didn't look the way some people expected wealth to look. I was 38, recently back in the city, and tired from a week that had started too early and stretched too long. My mother had passed 2 winters before, and since then Christmas had become less of a celebration and more of a duty I performed for other people. This year, after a long property meeting nearby, I decided not to drive home in bad weather. I booked a room at the Ashbourne Grand, dropped my bag at the door, and thought I'd spend one quiet night there. At first, I told myself it was nothing. A bad comment. A snobbish couple. An overworked staff. That kind of thing happens everywhere. Still, little things kept piling up. At check-in, the receptionist asked for my ID twice, even though my booking was already open on her screen. The couple behind me, the ones who had laughed, were checked in with a few smiles and no questions. When I asked whether the restaurant was still serving dinner, she said it was fully booked. 10 minutes later, I passed the host stand and watched 2 walk-in guests get seated without a reservation. When I came back downstairs after putting my bag in the room, a bellman near the elevator asked if I was waiting for someone. He didn't ask the older man beside me in jeans and a wrinkled sweater. Just me. I noticed everything. I said almost nothing. The strange part was that none of it was open enough to challenge. Each moment had a small excuse attached to it. Policy. Timing. Miscommunication. Holiday pressure. That was what made it effective. It stayed just inside the line. I texted my cousin Hannah around 8. She lived nearby and had planned to meet me for dessert. I wrote, "This place is acting weird." She called right away. I explained it in the simplest way I could. She laughed softly. "It's Christmas. Rich people get extra ridiculous in December. Maybe. Don't let them get in your head," she said. "Eat something, ignore them, and come home tomorrow." Maybe she was right. Maybe I was tired. Maybe I was reading too much into a few bad interactions. But when I went back toward the lobby, the same woman in the pearl coat looked directly at me and said to her husband, loud enough this time, "Honestly, if they let anyone stay here, what are we paying for?" Her husband smirked. Neither of them lowered their voices. The concierge heard it. So did the doorman. No one said a word. Then I noticed something else. The manager from upstairs was watching again. Not me. Them. And when our eyes almost met, he turned and disappeared into the office behind reception. That was the first moment I stopped feeling insulted and started feeling curious. Because people ignore ordinary cruelty. They don't usually look nervous around it. So I stopped reacting. And I started watching. I stayed in the lobby longer than I needed to. Not sitting. Not moving much either. Just watching. The couple in the pearl coat settled near the fireplace. They ordered drinks without waiting. The bartender came to them directly, skipping 2 other guests who had been standing at the counter. I noticed the manager again about 15 minutes later. He didn't come out through the main office this time. He used a side corridor near the staff elevators. He walked past the concierge, said something quietly, and both of them glanced toward the couple. Not toward me. Toward them. That was the second moment something didn't fit. If this was just casual rudeness, the staff would ignore it. Hotels like that protect their atmosphere above everything. They don't let one loud guest disrupt the room. But no one corrected them. No one asked them to lower their voices. Instead, the staff seemed careful. I took my phone out, not to record at first. Just to check messages. But then the woman stood up again. She walked straight to the reception desk, pointed toward me without even turning her head fully, and said, "We don't feel comfortable with people like that wandering around. It reflects badly on the hotel." This time, I didn't have to guess. The receptionist nodded. Not politely. Not neutrally. She nodded like she understood. Then she said, quietly but clearly enough, "We'll take care of it." That was when I turned the camera on. I didn't raise the phone. I didn't make it obvious. I just held it low, angled slightly upward, and let it run. The woman continued. "He checked in, right?" she asked. "Yes," the receptionist said. A pause. "Then, we can review the booking." The wording was careful. But the meaning wasn't. I felt something settle in my chest. Not anger. Not even surprise anymore. Just clarity. I stepped a little closer, still silent, still recording. The concierge joined them. The manager came out again, this time directly. The three of them spoke in low voices, but the woman didn't lower hers. "If you allow this," she said, "people will notice. This isn't that kind of place." The manager didn't argue. He didn't agree either. He just said, "Let me handle it." That was enough. I ended the recording and stepped back toward the elevator as if nothing had happened. Upstairs, I locked the door and sat down at the small desk near the window. Then I watched the video. Once. Twice. A third time, with the volume slightly higher. Everything was there. The pointing. The words. The response. No shouting. No slurs. Nothing obvious enough to cause a scene. But clear enough. Intent doesn't need to be loud to be real. I saved the file. Then I sent a copy to my cloud storage. Another to a private email I rarely used. Then I forwarded it to someone whose number I hadn't dialed in months. David Mercer. Corporate compliance for the Ashbourne Group. We had worked together briefly 3 years earlier on a property acquisition. He was careful. Quiet. The kind of person who paid attention to details most people missed. I didn't explain everything. I just sent the video with one line. "You might want to see how your flagship hotel handles guests on Christmas." He replied faster than I expected. 3 minutes. "Where are you right now?" I told him. Then I waited. No pacing. No second messages. Just waiting. Downstairs, the piano kept playing. People kept laughing. Glasses kept clinking. And somewhere between all of that, I knew something had already shifted. Because once something is recorded, it stops being opinion. It becomes evidence. Confronting them would have ruined everything. David called 10 minutes later. I didn't answer right away. I let it ring once, then picked up. His voice was the same as I remembered. Calm. Measured. No wasted words. "Are you alone?" he asked. "Yes." "Good. Don't go back down yet." I wasn't planning to. A short pause. "I've already sent the video to internal review," he said. "But I need you to do exactly what I say for the next hour." I didn't ask why. "All right. Keep your phone on you. If anyone from staff contacts you, respond normally. Don't mention anything about the video." "Okay. And don't check out early." That part almost made me smile. I wasn't going to. Another pause. I could hear him typing on the other end. "Listen carefully," he said. "That hotel is under active audit right now. Not public. Internal. We've had complaints, but nothing documented clearly enough." I glanced at the screen again. The video file sat there, quiet and complete. "Now we do." "Yes," he said. "Now we do." The call ended there. No reassurance. No promises. Just direction. I stood up and walked back to the door, listening for any movement in the hallway. Nothing unusual. just distant footsteps and the soft hum of the building. I checked the locks again anyway. Then I made copies. Not just digital. I connected my laptop to the hotel's Wi-Fi, uploaded the file to 2 separate encrypted drives, and printed a still frame from the recording. Not because I needed to. Because habits matter. Evidence is only useful if it survives. Around 9, my phone buzzed again. A message from the front desk. Mr. Carter, we'd like to speak with you regarding your booking. Could you please come down when convenient? I read it twice. The wording had changed. Not a request anymore. A step closer to action. I replied simply, I'll be down shortly. Then I sat back down. Not rushing. Not hesitating either. Just choosing the moment. At 9:17, I took the elevator down. The lobby looked exactly the same. Same lights. Same music. Same couple near the fireplace. Only now, the manager was waiting near the reception desk. So was the concierge. And one person who hadn't been there before. A man in a dark suit, standing slightly apart. Not interacting with guests. Not smiling. Watching. I recognized the type immediately. Corporate. The manager stepped forward as I approached. Mr. Carter, he said, voice polite but tight, thank you for coming down. I nodded. You mentioned there was an issue with my booking? He hesitated. Just for a second. Then, we're reviewing some details and wanted to clarify. Which details? I asked. Still calm. Still quiet. The couple by the fireplace turned slightly. Listening now. The receptionist lowered her eyes. The man in the dark suit didn't move. He just kept watching. The manager cleared his throat. There may have been a misunderstanding regarding. Your staff already told someone they would take care of it, I said. No accusation. Just a sentence. His expression changed. Not dramatically. Just enough. A small shift in control. I reached into my coat pocket, took out my phone, and placed it gently on the counter between us. Screen facing down. I think we should all be very clear about what's being reviewed. The man in the dark suit stepped forward then. Not quickly. But with purpose. I agree, he said. His voice carried just enough to quiet the space around us. The manager turned toward him. Sir, I wasn't aware. You weren't meant to be, the man replied. Then he looked at me. Not suspicious. Not dismissive. Just direct. Mr. Carter, he said, I'm here on behalf of corporate compliance. I gave a small nod. I know. The couple by the fireplace had stopped pretending not to watch. The woman's expression had changed. Not confident anymore. Curious. Uncertain. The man in the suit placed his hand lightly on the counter. Before anyone says anything further, he said, we're going to review exactly what happened. In full. No raised voices. No scene. Just a shift. The kind you don't notice until it's already too late to stop. I slid the phone across the counter. They thought it was just another day. It wasn't. No one touched the phone right away. The man from corporate glanced at the manager first, then at the receptionist, then finally at me. May I? He asked. I nodded. He picked up the phone, turned it over, and tapped the screen once. The video was already open. I had left it there deliberately. He watched without speaking. The manager didn't interrupt. The concierge didn't move. The receptionist kept her eyes down. About halfway through, the man paused the video. Not at the loudest moment. At the smallest one. The nod. He replayed that part twice. Then he let the rest run. When it ended, he placed the phone back on the counter carefully, like it mattered. Thank you, he said. That was it. No reaction. No comment. Just acknowledgement. He turned slightly toward the manager. Step into the office, he said. It wasn't a suggestion. The manager hesitated, just for a second, then followed. The concierge stayed where he was. The receptionist didn't look up. The couple by the fireplace were no longer pretending anything. The woman's posture had shifted. Less relaxed. More aware. Her husband leaned closer to her, whispering something I couldn't hear. No one spoke to me. And that silence felt different now. Not dismissive. Measured. The office door closed. Through the glass, I could see movement. Calm, controlled conversation. No gestures. No raised voices. Just decisions being made. After a few minutes, the man in the suit came back out alone. The manager didn't follow. The man walked to the concierge first. "Please suspend all guest-facing duties for tonight," he said quietly. The concierge nodded. No argument. Then he turned to the receptionist. "Step away from the desk." She stood immediately. Still no questions. Then he looked toward the couple. This time, he didn't lower his voice. "Sir. I'll need you to join me as well." The woman blinked, surprised. "I'm sorry, why?" "We're conducting a review," he said. "We didn't do anything," she replied, sharper now. "That's what we're here to confirm," he said. Her husband stood up slowly. "This is unnecessary." The man in the suit didn't respond to that. He just waited. And after a moment, they followed him. The lobby remained quiet. The piano kept playing. But something had shifted in a way that couldn't be undone. I stayed where I was. Not watching them anymore. Just standing there, letting the moment pass. About 10 minutes later, another staff member came out from the back office. Different uniform. Different tone. "Mr. Carter," she said, "we'd like to apologize for your experience this evening." I nodded once. She continued, "Your stay has been fully secured. No changes will be made to your reservation. And if there's anything you need, I'll handle it personally." "Thank you," I said. Nothing more. No questions. No demands. Because the outcome was already in motion. Later that night, I returned to my room. No one stopped me. No one questioned me. The hallway felt the same, but not really. Around midnight, my phone buzzed. A short message from David. Handled. Internal action initiated. You won't be contacted further unless you choose to be. I read it once and set the phone down. Outside the window, the city was quiet under a thin layer of snow. Inside, everything had settled. No noise. No tension. No need to explain anything to anyone. That night, everything was quiet.